House Speaker Mike Johnson has sparked outrage by suggesting that federal aid to California, following the devastating Los Angeles wildfires, could come with strings attached. Johnson criticized California's state and local leaders, accusing them of negligence, and hinted at placing conditions on federal relief, potentially tying it to debt ceiling negotiations. The wildfires have already had a catastrophic impact, displacing nearly 200,000 residents, destroying over 12,000 structures, including critical community facilities, and claiming at least 24 lives. Residents are calling for immediate aid, but Johnson's remarks have drawn sharp criticism from both parties. Many are questioning Johnson's stance, wondering if he's politicizing disaster relief and prioritizing party interests over the needs of vulnerable communities. Calls for unconditional aid are growing louder, with protesters gathering outside government buildings, holding signs like "Aid Now, No Politics." A special counsel report has concluded that President-elect Donald Trump would have been convicted in the 2020 election interference case if he weren't protected by his presidential victory. Special counsel Jack Smith stated that the evidence was sufficient to convict Trump, with the special counsel's office fully supporting the prosecution. The report highlights Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election, demonstrating a clear violation of the law. However, due to the Department of Justice's view that a sitting president cannot be indicted under the Constitution, the possibility of prosecution has effectively ended. This development raises serious questions about presidential accountability and the limits of prosecutorial power. Trump's 2024 election victory has sparked debates among political and legal experts, who are now discussing the implications of this report. It's worth noting that Trump has faced other legal challenges, including a conviction in a hush money case related to a payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Republicans are considering cutting Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program (SNAP) benefits by 20% to reduce federal spending, which would impact over 22 million households. This proposed cut would reverse a permanent boost introduced under President Biden's administration and save $247 billion over a decade. Critics argue that these cuts would not only hurt families but also farmers, manufacturers, and the food supply chain. Representative Angie Craig emphasized that this proposal would take food away from hungry children while reducing demand for American-grown produce. The plan is part of a broader effort to reduce federal spending by $5 trillion. However, many argue that it unfairly targets vulnerable populations and is unpopular, even among some GOP members. Historically, SNAP cuts have had significant impacts. For instance, the expiration of the 2009 Recovery Act's benefit boost resulted in a 7% average cut in benefits for nearly every SNAP recipient. The North Carolina Supreme Court race has taken a dramatic turn, with Republicans attempting to throw out 60,000 ballots to overturn Democratic incumbent Allison Riggs' narrow 734-vote victory. This move has been met with fierce criticism from Democrats, who are calling it a rock-bottom maneuver to undermine the election results. Riggs' lead has been confirmed by 2 recounts, but Republican-backed legal challenges continue to escalate, sparking fears of voter disenfranchisement in the state. Critics argue that this legal battle undermines democracy and is an attack on the will of North Carolina voters. The controversy centers around Republican candidate Jefferson Griffin's demand to invalidate 60,000 ballots, citing vague and legally dubious accusations of fraud or impropriety. Many of these challenged ballots belong to legally registered and eligible voters, including Riggs' parents and a prominent doctor. As the case unfolds, the nation is watching closely to see whether the courts will honor the certified results or set a new precedent for election challenges. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has sparked controversy by suggesting that weather manipulation, specifically geoengineering techniques like cloud seeding, could be used to stop the devastating Los Angeles wildfires. Greene proposed releasing particles into clouds to encourage rainfall, but experts argue that this technique has limited effectiveness and requires very specific conditions, often unavailable during wildfire emergencies. Cloud seeding is a form of geoengineering that involves releasing substances into clouds to enhance precipitation. However, its effectiveness is still debated, and it's not a proven solution for combating wildfires. Moreover, experts emphasize that sustainable solutions, such as forest management and addressing climate change, are more effective in preventing and managing wildfires. Green's comments have been met with skepticism and criticism, with many accusing her of oversimplifying the science and undermining the complexities of combating wildfires.